9:08. Get here at 9, John said. Didn't log in until 9:07, guys. So yeah, definitely sorry about this. But no, you guys didn't care at all. So you're just excited that we got another episode of Comic Book Look. And look at this. We got the backlot boy inside the cut tonight. So yeah, man, Casey, you excited to be on the show tonight or what?
What is up, Tommy boy? I hear you're late on your own show, and you're telling me before the show that you're a baby face. That is the most heelish thing you can do.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, but like you said, there's a lot of great faces. Like I'm a face like the Miz is a face. He's a real good guy. I know that he knows it, but it doesn't see. Maybe not everybody else sees it. So, but no, I'm excited to have you on, Casey. And this is the minute to win it. We're just warming up here. John will give us a full introduction. Let everybody know who we are. And but one thing you might notice, people who are joining in. Is I got a new background. I put the comic book rack back up. I got some new comics behind me. Usually I got my bookshelf, which I do still have my bookshelf. It's right here. But I'm, switching it up tonight. New background, new digs. I painted my walls white behind me. So, I want to show them off a little bit, Johnny boy. What do you think?
I think it's cool.
Yeah. See,
I like that patch on repeat.
Yeah.
Those things are rare.
That's right. Those are the ones I can find, John. 2 of those are yours, buddy.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I am all shared out. With that, we've let it kind of warm up a little bit. Thank you to everyone who's tuning in so far. But without further ado, the best drum roll a glass desk can muster. Hey everybody, it's a comic book look. It's your boy John on Demand, aka the comic book Hugh Hef. I don't have another clever AKA tonight, but AKA that this conversation is a tranquil one, and that we all drink from the same chalice, and we will figure out where we are at with all that. So, joined by co-CEO Tom Devine, AKA the Midwest Highlander, there can only be one. Ponytail recently recognized by Christina Blanche and Garrett Gunn from the Good Boy team, so that was exciting. We are joined tonight by our awesome counterparts here in the 605, the film experts, everything cinematic. They got it. They are the cinematic universe. Casey's in the building. Casey, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you guys so much. This is so much fun. It's always such a blast to talk to you guys. And you bring up, cinematic experts. And here we're going to talk about a movie that's barely a cinematic movie, Morbius.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, and it's gonna hopefully be a conversation that doesn't suck. Okay. Hey, but first, when we talk about cinematics, Tom and I, we got invited to this shindig that Backlot 605 is having. So, Casey, give our viewers kind of the lowdown here because we got our perspective.
Yeah. We have Casey, guys. This is Casey from Backlot 605. Backlot 605 is some other guys as well, but this is the smart one, the number one person from Backlot 605. Brian, Sam, Derek, they're basically just trash. And so we only invited to have Casey on tonight and to, try to get the real, opinion, the good opinion, not the garbage opinions from the other three. You know what I mean, Casey? Don't you agree?
I don't agree. I don't know what you're doing here. You're trying to split up the team. I think that's what's going on here. You're breaking up the band. You're breaking up the Beatles. You can't be doing this. Tom. This show that we're gonna do together feels like it's 3+ years in the making of this.
Hell yeah.
It's our Avengers Endgame of 605 South Dakota podcasts. All finally coming together to fight one Thanos. I don't know who's Thanos. Maybe it's Tom. Maybe it's John. Maybe it's me. I don't know. We're all going to team up and duke it out as we're going to rank some Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. A thing you guys maybe know a thing or two about. Yeah, I'm very excited for this. I am so excited to finally be doing this huge mega crossover. I'm gonna start plugging this thing away because we got the top 20 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. It's tag team turmoil. 4 teams, 3 members on each team going down. I think 1 month from today, 1 month and 1 day from today. So May 14th at Average Joe's Gaming. Shout out Average Joe's Gaming in T, South Dakota. They're going to be our gracious hosts for the evening. The ones to contain this cinematic battle between 4 plus 605 podcasts. So this is super exciting, guys.
And you said that we needed a teammate, right?
So we had 3 automatically on Backlot. Wednesday Comics, they got their trio that always is on the show. That scumbag Charlie Eccles found 2 tag team partners somehow, some way, stealing our best friend Andy Heller from us.
Yeah.
That dirty bald man. I'm throwing it down. Me and Mr. Eccles we're feuding right now. This is real.
Yes. Well, throw it down.
So Casey, you shared that you wrote the rules for this, but Tom and I really wanted to be strategic with our third teammate. Okay. And so with that, I'm going to bring third teammate onto the show right now. And this has to be allowed. We're going to find out in just a second.
Come on.
Sam
Lenz.
Sam, thank you for joining us. You're gonna leave Backlot and join a comic. Oh, it's a trick. We tricked you. We tricked you again, Casey. You thought you lost Sam. No, we brought the ringer. He's here. Ken.
Not that I've ever watched a Marvel movie multiple times, but I'm hoping I have some knowledge I can bring to this.
Can you please let Sam Lenz out of your room, though, before the show? I beg you. We need him.
We'll release him. We'll let him go. We won't keep him. I was going to react misery. I had the hammer and everything.
I think Sam would actually like that if you did that. I was going to say, I don't think Sam's ever going to leave your room if he was actually there.
He's more than welcome to stop by and visit.
So with that is the trilogy that you guys are going up against. Casey, I am so sorry. I mean, Charlie's calling me a nice guy, but we got Ken, we got Tom and me. Like, I don't know. This is going to be a tough one.
Yeah, Ken, thank you so much for joining our team. I mean, how do you feel about bringing the full comic book look trifecta back and, bringing, Mr. Internet himself, Ken, who knows everything before anybody else, to our team? You're a huge asset. How do you feel about joining up?
I'm super excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a fun time, and I'm hoping to, bring some good experience and knowledge to the team.
Yeah, we know you will, Ken.
You'll make us proud, Ken.
I'll try.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to let Ken go because we got Morbius to talk about, and he was not with me when I saw it.
I have not seen Morbius, so I'll log off and let you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. And
I miss you already, Ken.
Oh, Hail Hydra.
Hopefully I'll see you at some point, Ken. Oh, wow. He just hangs up. He's like,
I love it, dude.
Out of here.
In and out. I love it, man. That's why. Yeah, Casey, watch out, buddy. See? Look at that.
I was scared for a second that you guys had taken Mr. Lenz hostage, but now that I know he's safe and probably sitting in his room watching Captain America: The First Avenger for the 75th time in the last year, I know we're okay as a team.
Yes.
Oh man. On the serious, you guys, we are actually all of that was quite serious, but Tom and I are really excited to be a part of this. And it's just so fun to see how many freaking personalities and channels we have in our humble abode of Sioux Falls, and surrounding area. And it's cool right now. And so thank you to Backlot 605 for really putting this together and, your time and energy, because they are fun. Tom and I had a chance to go to the Christmas movie countdown, and that was so much fun. Opportunity there to come out, be a part of the live audience, and experience it. It is going to be a riot, and I'm excited. So Tom's probably going to take me to church like 500 times, and
that's the thing. We'll have to choose as a team. There may be a lot of inner team turmoil since I'm sure me and John are going to disagree on a lot. It's actually good to have Ken around because we'll need to probably come into a lot of inner team votes. And so we will need a tiebreaker a lot of times. And then as John said, we saw your Christmas countdown, so we know how it goes. Like that it's not. Sometimes other teams will throw you out. They'll put the movie in that you wanted to save for later. They're already using it. They're burning the good ones, and then you'll get some junk in the middle. You'll be like, "There's no way that one's better," but that's the way the cookie crumbles. So that's this is the death match scenario. This is the official list that the world will have to recognize after this event. So
heck yeah.
I know for a fact Kevin Feige will be watching live with us. Maybe not in person, but I know he's out there in the ether listening, hearing. He knows what's going down in the 605.
He has a mic on my phone, so he heard you say his name, and he texted me right away as soon as you said that. But don't worry, I said it was okay. So.
It's fine.
And then Kev Dog, he's a lot to deal with.
Catching up on comments just super duper quick here. Aaron Evans from Minnesota's checking in with us. Good evening, gents, and good evening to you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Derek from Iowa checking in, fellas, and I say fellas right back to you, even though one fella, no S. So yes. TR, amazing TR. I'm gonna need some kind of proof that y'all are wearing pants. I am wearing my Marvel Comics jammy pants right now. So it doesn't get any more proofly than that, but they are snug as a rug. I'm quite happy. So,
and I'm Porky Pig in it. So yeah, sorry.
Well, with that, Morbius just happened, especially for Tom, who made a special field trip just to be able to talk about it this evening. This will be a very fun conversation, I'm sure, and I'm really curious to see where we land on this. So, Tom, I'm going to have you take the wheel.
Sure. So we got Morbius, right, guys? This is a Marvel movie. You can tell from the tag in the beginning, in association with Marvel. So they're trying to do the best they can to make sure it's not a Marvel Cinematic movie. And then we have, this. So we go to this movie. It's from Sony. It's from Columbia. You get a bunch of weird trailers in front of it because it's from Sony and Columbia for some different stuff. I'm like, okay, I'm let's do this. Some Marvel movie. I looked at how much they spent on it, $75 million. So then you have to understand compared to the $300 million they spend on Doctor Strange or a Spider-Man. This isn't going to be that same type of thing. So then this is going to be the Venom. This is going to be your B movie, your B level movie. But then it's weird that you got Jared Leto as as your main guy. He's coming out of House of Gucci and these big roles that he's been taking and doing crazy things with it. And then he plays this understated character. So I don't know. I'm fresh off of it last night. I did not enjoy it. I mean, I never fall asleep in movies, and I had a caffeinated soda, and I still almost fell asleep in the middle of it. I almost checked my phone. I was like, "What? Did you have your hand on your phone in the movie? You're about to pull it out of your little pouch in your sweatshirt? What are you, insane?" But that's how bored I was at just in this middle portion. So yeah, I guess that's my initial take on Morbius. I hope a lot of people saw it. We're going to be spoiling the shit out of it. If you didn't see it, I would say, who cares? You can definitely just listen. It doesn't matter in any fucking way. They don't even set up characters' backgrounds. You have no idea what anybody does, what their jobs are, what their day-to-day is like. It's just absolutely asinine for most of the time. So yeah, I can't wait to hear what you guys think. John has been reading like 250 Morbius comics here, and in the last couple months, he has been an absolute freak for Marvel dark, the dark area of Marvel. So this is kind of right up your alley right now, John. I'd love to hear your take on it. And then Casey, as just being the movie guy, I can't wait to hear your take.
I cannot wait to hear Casey's on it. All right. So first of all, it is true. I have over 200 issues of Morbius and Midnight Suns, Ghost Rider, all that Hoo-Ha Blade, and everything that I'm collecting actively. And the list continues to grow because I find more beautiful things. The caveat to that is I've only read one Morbius Epic Collection, which is 400 pages of his first appearance and then some of the adventures following that. And some of it was like from vampire magazines and Adventures into Fear and all this other like subtle stuff, and it was really rad. So I went into this movie with a very faint understanding of the character. I will say holistically, this is a modern attempt of a take on an old story. Is what they tried to do here. From a movie perspective in terms of visuals, one of my biggest complaints about the film is actually at the beginning and the end when we're doing our blue and purple lines to get us to the M logo eventually. My complaint was, one, I'm not watching Tron or some 80s movie. Like, missed opportunity to really vamp it up and darken it up a little and really set the mood for what we're trying to accomplish here. It just didn't make sense to me. Same thing with that end credit scene with like the visuals. It was just repeating the blue lines, and it just felt like a horrible 80s dance party. It was stupid. And I just, quite frankly, wasn't a fan of it. Yeah, story-wise, I would agree. There was just a lot of what exactly would you say you do here kind of moments for several of the staff and characters. But I did feel there were some good moments in there. So visually speaking, Jared Leto, when he's in his lab coat and his hair's in the messy bun and stuff, that was a mean look. I mean, he looked to me like a Michael Morbius of the modern time. But there are points where when we're moving as Morbius and it's blurry and it's fun and stuff, we can do that, but do we need to do that for 40 minutes of the movie? Another complaint of mine is, does our antagonist, our villain, need to be Morbius 2.0 when we have MCU that has a whole roster of characters that actually matter and maybe actually exist? I'm not familiar enough yet to know if there was another Morbius-esque figure or not. I don't believe so. I think his friend actually died in the origin story in the comics. So it's just kind of like, Matt Smith, I love you, but why are you here? So I don't know. For me, I didn't hate it, but it kind of missed the mark for me. The end credit scene, that's a whole nother discussion. I'm sure Casey's going to talk about that. But that end credit scene for me, it was just like, this is the one thing I was looking forward to from the trailer. Like, why does it matter to the MCU? Because every movie, every TV show I watch, I look for, why does it matter? How does it connect? And this time around, it's like they made the effort to make sure that it really was convoluted and yucky. And I just think that was such a poor move. There's money to be made, Sony. Just sit at the table with Marvel. Let's break our $1 million loaves. It's fine. It's fine.
You don't have to explain to me even. I mean, I don't even know how the, whatever that guy Birdman has to do with the Vulture has to do with, breaking in. I don't know. You'll have to explain that to me at some time, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, John or Casey, what are your first impressions?
First of all, the end credit scenes just don't make any sense, and we can get into that later. Literally breaks all the logic of the last Sony Marvel movie, Spider-Man No Way Home, and just flips everything backwards and is like, yeah, whatever, we don't make any sense. This movie defines what Sony has been trying to do since Amazing Spider-Man 2, of trying to build this cinematic universe of Spider-Man characters and trying to be like, oh well, we're part of Marvel too. We're hanging with the big boys. They're the big brother. I'm going to tag along too. That's what they feel like to me. So much so, and I found this hilarious when I was getting my tickets for this. I went on the Cinemark website and I was pulling up like the synopsis before I got to the showtimes, and it said, one of the most compelling and conflicted characters in Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters comes to the big screen. Like, what the hell is the Sony Picture universe of Marvel characters? I've never heard this term before. I guess that's what they're calling the Venom verse now? Is this what is Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters?
Ugh.
It's awful.
Sony just wants to have universe. Marvel universe is so impactful that they have to include universe in there somewhere.
Just call it the Spider-Man universe of Spider-Man villains without Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what this movie has, the same problem I have with the two Venom movies is, you guys both said it. Why do I care?
Yeah. Especially
when this guy has to fight Spider-Man, and Spider-Man is nowhere in this movie. It's like, what are we building up to here? But besides that, I actually kind of liked this movie, and I hate it so much. I like it movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where it does like, there's nothing good in this movie. Like, they don't do anything right in the movie, but I kind of respect it for not getting anything right.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense, because Jared Leto is completely the wrong person to play Morbius.
Really?
I don't like him.
Okay.
I don't know many people that do.
Even if he is the right person, he played it wrong then. I mean, who is this most generic doctor who like doesn't influence his voice, who just plays it right down the line? You don't know what his personality is. Is he nice? Is he not nice? Is he evil? Is he selfish? Is he giving? I mean, I don't know. All I know is that he is somebody who's handicapped and he wants to, cure it. That is all I know about the guy. So it's like, and Jared Leto is an insane actor, right? We all know that. So it's like, let this guy be insane. In House of Gucci, I didn't even know he was fucking Jared Leto the entire goddamn movie. And then I saw the credits at the end. They said it's Jared Leto. I was like, which character was Jared Leto? And I had to look it up, and I was like, he was the fat uncle in House of Gucci? That's insane. I didn't even know it was goddamn him as I watched him, and I know what he looks like. So it's like, the guy can do very specific things. And this time he just phoned it in, man. I mean, it was, absolutely terrible. I mean, Matt Smith said in an interview already, he's like, I don't know who my character was, what my motivations were. It's like, yeah, dude, you don't even know anything about Matt Smith's character. So it's like, bro, I mean, what is going on here? But yeah, there's 100 things. I mean, what were the things that you liked about it, Casey? That that I get that it's it's so bad it's good, but what are explore some of those things that brought you into positivity? Maybe even the things that were so bad that they became fun to watch.
Matt Smith's character is one of them, because he is just Morbius, but like has a different disease he's trying to cure. Like, what do we know about him? He's literally the same character. Yeah. But as soon as he gets the Morbius powers, I'm like, why aren't you the hero? Yeah. Like, you're having fun. Like, you are like who I would root for in this. I mean, besides killing like innocent people and cops and stuff. Yeah. But besides that, you're having fun being Morbius.
I agree.
Morbius, anti-Morbius, whatever the hell your name's going to be. I think he is a ton of fun in this movie. And he's infinitely more likable than Jared Leto. It's just, he's really good at playing a sleazebag, though. This and Last Night in Soho really show that off. I'm like, God, I still like you, but you're a sleazebag in some of these roles. But you're just super likable that it's like, oh no, why are you the bad guy? Type of thing, and I think that's a sign of a great actor, if you can still be a likable person but have this like dark side to you. And he does a good job with no material in this movie of doing that. The opening of this movie and the flashbacks, I was like, what is going on? Where are we? What's happening? Is this a hospital? Is this an orphanage? Is this Xavier's school for gifted children? What is this place?
Is he getting sent to Xavier School for gifted children? They fucking say it in the goddamn thing. It's like, wait, exactly. So you've been there a long time. The only character difference between Morbius 1 and Morbius 2 is that, Milo Morbius, he got to the orphanage / hospital / school / new dad's house or whatever, because the doctor at that place just lives with him forever and is just his best friend and takes care of him.
Which is really weird.
Like, what? Who are you? What are you?
So from what little we get in this, I assume what's Matt Smith's character? Milo? Is that what he's called? Yeah. Milo 4 or 5, because apparently Morbius is super morbid and names all his friends Milo because they die.
They just all die.
And he uses that name for the rest of the movie. It's very weird.
It is. And then
I assume his parents are really rich from what we get to see of them. It's like they get out of this really nice car and they have like suits and stuff on. So I assume it's like a place to send kids to get better. Like if it's a hospital or a private institute. And that's why he has so much money as an adult. But like the movie doesn't say any of that. It's really, really weird, and like relies too much on audiences being like connecting this stuff.
I agree, and I also like even with that connection, you still feel like, well, if that's the case, this character has no agency, and then you don't like them. But if this character was, handicapped, and then they continued to be wealthy because they were really successful and did whatever business practice, and he did something, or he was a lawyer, or he had a big business, he was a businessman now. It's like they don't talk about that at all. So all I know is that he's just a silver spoon kid who's now 40 years old or 50 years old. I mean, Jared Leto's 50 years old. So, I mean, they're 50-year-old guys that are now just kind of like still sitting around since they've done. I mean, I just didn't understand it. And it just, yeah, the thing, one of the things that I didn't really understand, and John, I wanted to get your take on this, is the romance between the nurse, or no, excuse me, the non-nurse who everybody calls a nurse and is a doctor, and Jared Leto. Like, explain this to me. Where did I mean, tell me, what beats did I miss in this movie that allowed them to kiss at that time when I didn't even know they were getting attracted to each other? I mean,
sure. So, again, this was a very modern take. So this Morbius is surprisingly quite aggressive, and we can blame that bat serum for that. In the books, he actually had a wife who ended up like finding his dead best friend. Like they were all on a boat doing this research together. So that part was true, right? They booked a boat to do this at sea. But in this case, yeah, the main love of his life is another doctor, and it felt really all over the place and choppy in terms of their relationship, and suddenly bam, VIP. But I don't know, like it's not drastic, they didn't hate each other, certainly they were just coworkers.
Oh yeah, I agree. I thought they were like very close coworkers. That was like,
yeah,
dope, dude. Like they're working strongly together. Like she has agency, even though they picked a terrible actress who is, not doing a good job at all in any of these scenes. At least she has the agency of like, she's a good doctor and he's a good doctor, and they're both independent. And then it's like, no, I'm really only here because I love you, and and then like, but I didn't pick up on it. I don't know. It seemed like completely thrown in there, 100%, because it's like they were like, it was almost like they were like waiting to get together for this moment. But it's like, haven't you guys been working together every single day for a decade or longer?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think you would have hooked up by now. But I don't know. It just didn't fucking make sense anymore.
His legs weren't working. Who knows what else wasn't working below the waist, Tom? Who knows?
That's right, dude. Once she brought up,
and
he was back with Excalibur.
I gotta
He had to vamp out first before she should get some of that teeth.
Both actors portrayed their conditions extremely well. I felt like the walk and everything like that. I couldn't even do that. Like I would probably just fall on my face. I'd be the worst actor for that role, because it to me, that was pretty legit how they portrayed that condition, both of them. And I thought that was really cool. I also think that thinking about things like, makeup and cosmetics, I thought a lot of the makeup showing how under the weather he was actually really well done. So thinking about the scene at the mouth of the cave, and then when he starts getting going with the bat and stuff, it just looked, it was exciting to me how cool it looked. I just feel like they did a really good job of depicting that.
John, that's just how Jared Leto looks.
Yeah, dude, he's on heroin, man.
No.
No, he's a handsome gentleman.
Chop and Drop says, "Happy new comic book day, comic book friends." So thank you so much, Chop and Drop.
What's up? Yeah. Also, that speaking of him being 50, like, dude, the dude looks like he's 25.
Yeah.
So it's like, what the fuck, man? I mean,
he's an actual vampire.
He is an actual vampire. I mean, you wouldn't be surprised if you heard that he actually drank blood. That wouldn't be, But it's like, I remember I saw him live when he was 32nd to Mars in Sioux Falls here, like when I was in high school, and the dude hasn't changed. So it's like, man, that was fucking 20 years ago, damn near. So yeah, I don't know, man. He's definitely drinking some sort of vampire blood. I do think it's funny, that they really try to push the bat. In the comics, Morbius is Morbius the living vampire, right? Because he's like living vampire, and that was really because they were trying to get around comic codes in the 1950s. Dr. Wortham made a bunch of fuss, and then we had the code, the stamp on your books, and to follow those codes, you couldn't show dead people walking. That was part of the thing. So you couldn't show vampires, you couldn't show zombies, couldn't show undead monsters, and so then they got around this by saying Morbius is a living vampire. He's actually not a dead vampire. He's a living vampire. So he's Morbius, the living vampire. And then that was like in EC comics and these old comics throughout the 50s before Marvel Comics is even around. Mm-hmm. So then you take when, Marvel Comics or Timely Comics actually buys EC Comics. It becomes Marvel. Now they have this cast of characters as they build the darker side and Tomb of Dracula and, Gil Kane and Gene Colan and all these guys are trying to pull these stories together. And that's when Morbius gets brought back in to the Marvel Universe. I think that is so cool. That's so ripe for a bunch of different story that you can pull out of it here. So, like, it is unbelievable to me that this is what we then get with this thing that is so right with 50 years, 70 years worth of history. The storyline you choose is some character we don't know, and then like you set off the Bancroft. Like, I recognize that name for sure, but it's like, isn't that from Dracula or some shit? It's like, I'm not smart enough and I'm not well read enough to know, but it's like, I don't know, so many missed opportunities here to do something, and instead they follow the exact same plot line as Venom. Look, here's Venom and here's a bad Venom. Now here's Morbius, and here's a bad Morbius. It's like, damn it.
Yeah.
Something else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For a main character that is a living vampire, this movie is like so devoid of anything like horror related at all. Like it like have some of those spooky elements. Make it a full-on vampire movie. Like the original Blade trilogy, at least the first two, are still like superhero movies, but they have this like dark dreariness to them. They're still within the confines of horror as well. Like, especially like Del Toro's Blade 2 like comes to mind of like, that's just a great monster mash, action horror, all of those things put together. This one's just like trying to be the Avengers, but with Morbius. And it's like, yeah, but Morbius is not like Captain America or Thor. Like, he's Morbius. He's a guy who fights Spider-Man. Like, he's fine. I don't know what Sony's deal is with some of these. That being said, I want them to continue to make all these weird side characters. Make Kraven the Hunter. Make Madam Web. Like, make all these movies. Why not? Who cares at this point?
Just do them well, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
Well, we know they can do good movies. Sony has produced the best superhero movie of all time with the Spider-Man animated movie. There's not a better superhero movie that's ever been created. So it's like, we know they can have the uniqueness to get it in it, but they need to have, whatever those two producers that make all those amazing movies, who did those movies and did the Mitchell versus the Machines, and they're just so unique and good that they have such a point of view, and then Sony lets them do that. So then they need to find some up and coming guy who has a really clear point of view and give him $75 million. Some guy who's been making $10 million movies, give him $75 million and see what he can do. We won't get this CGI, nonsense where it's a movie that's well lit and it's supposed to be a horror movie. Don't do that to me, man. I don't want to see everybody's full face. I want to see it be dark and feel claustrophobic and bring that sense of dread to it. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, to John is the way to for me. If you guys liked Morbius, more power to you. But you know what you'll like even more? The run of comics that John is reading right now, because it's amazing, that is where the real stories are. All of the storylines that we're seeing in every single one of these, comic book movies is pulled from comics, guys. It is pulled from comics. Even the characters, the way they look, the storylines. It's to me, it's a shame that the screenwriters get full screenwriters and not adapted by credits, because they are adapting work that has been done before, has been written before. They are adapting just like a novel. I hope to see that change as superhero movies continue to be a genre that grows. But man, I'll tell you what, Sony, I agree with Casey. It's like, just keep making these fucking things. Who cares? I mean, yeah, even if they're bad, it's like, Casey, you're totally right in that there's parts in this shit that it's like, it goes full circle to back. Like you're enjoying it, like, because you really don't know who Matt Smith is at all. And then he goes evil, and he doesn't even really, there's no motivation for him to go evil at all. He just kills one nurse. Taylor Davis is writing some.
Yeah, let's catch up with Taylor. So Taylor says, hi. So Casey, Taylor is at the Rainbow Comics in Lincoln, Nebraska. So it's awesome that you're tuning in. Are we talking about the Morbius movie? We are talking about the Morbius movie. Taylor writes, the scariest scene in Morbius was the hallway in the hospital when the nurse died. And that's when like the lights were going on and off. And that was kind of a fun mechanic.
That was good. That was a good scene.
A good one. Taylor follows up with, I thought Morbius was a fun movie. It has flaws, but I liked it. Definitely could have been scarier, but So yeah, I mean, and that's kind of where I'm at too. So Taylor, I know we've been kind of harping on it a little bit. My harp really comes from just, I'm really picky. I want to see more of the comic on the screen kind of thing. And I just want it to matter to the MCU. And I just don't think that we got it. That being said, I got to see the Morbius logo on the big screen. And I like that. I didn't like the opening lines and stuff leading up to it. I thought that was too, like, not in the vein of what we're trying to do. Yeah.
I want to say, like, maybe my biggest positive of the movie is, like, for a $75 million movie that went through clearly a ton of reshoots, because this was supposed to come out before No Way Home and now is coming out almost 6 months later, had a lot of reshoots, but like the special effects of the movie are actually pretty dang good. Like, I like the look of Morbius. I like the like sonar, like, yeah, like the little CGI in his ear. I'm like, that's a little thing to have, but I'm like, that's at least interesting that we're doing something with that, at least the look and like his superpowers.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't have a character to back that up with, at least the superpowers and stuff at least make sense and are pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. His eye. I mean, you remember whenever they did the eyes and it went from white and his pupil got all, it's like, yeah, dude, that looks awesome. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I agree.
Taylor writes, I also feel it was for sure a 3-hour movie that got cut down to 2 in order to fit into the MCU. And then the timing of Spidey, Morbius, and Doctor Strange really made for an interesting story and timeline. And, I think that there, like the end scene or whenever we see this guy going crazy, like we did at the end of Spider-Man, like that kind of moment was like a light for me, because I'm like, something that connects it to something else. Finally, I've been searching far and wide, and I really, 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 I had higher hopes for it, but I didn't hate it. And so I'm glad for that, because there was a lot of just like negativity surrounding it. But I don't know. I think that I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Derek's coming through here. I think the movie takes more of a beating because it could have been such a great character, and so the disappointment seems even greater. That's fair. I wouldn't call it a good movie, but I wouldn't call it trash.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree with you, Derek. Yep. And yep. I mean, I guess I would call it trash. But yeah, I do agree with what you're saying.
You're always the bad cop on these.
It's trash outside of a fancy restaurant where you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can still eat out of this trash if
Yeah,
I need it.
exactly, man. Totally.
Oh no, this is terrible.
Sometimes you want trash. Sometimes you're like, you get invited to Maury's, a nice steakhouse in Sioux Falls, but you're like, I'm actually feeling burger time. So, that's the way that, sometimes it goes that way. So,
Morbius, the burger time of movies.
Exactly. So
Oh no.
sometimes burger time is fucking really delicious.
That's right.
But it's trash even when you're consuming it. But yeah, I agree, man. I think it's still good though, Derek. I know what you're saying. You can still enjoy it, and it's like, look, we're still getting more movies and like crank these things out. I did if you haven't picked up an issue of Sport, go to Rainbow and get one. But I did a little comic in here that pokes fun at Morbius and it not being a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's Morbius is really pissed about it. So yeah, I mean, I think that is a big downside of it being a Columbia movie. It's like, it's not even a Sony movie. Why did Columbia get the rights? I don't know.
It's a Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters.
Yeah, but it's made by Columbia. It's like,
by Columbia.
It's like, I just don't get any of that, but yeah.
Tom, did you get a new AKA?
Yeah, oh God, Derek, I'm sorry, man. And trust me, your opinion is way smart. You're smarter than me, Derek. I'm just the dumb guy spouting loudly,
Taylor checks in with us here. I said when it was announced that everyone would be quick to hate Jared Leto and not give the movie a chance, which totally happened. Like, it wasn't even out yet, and people were like, "Oh my God, it's terrible! 1 star, Yelp." Or whatever. It's, go see it. My number one piece of advice for everyone, Tom's going to disagree, but go see it, and maybe read a little beforehand, because for me that was really helpful of identifying, this is definitely not what it's like in the comics, which makes me want to read the comics because there's hope in the pages. The pages got your hope. Okay,
that's right.
So
I will say Spider-Man No Way Home kind of like revitalized my love of Spider-Man again, that I felt was missing previously, and made me even more excited to watch this movie. I was super excited to watch Morbius. I had a blast watching it. I can't wait to watch it again. Like, it is one of those movies that I'm super excited to rewatch. And can we talk about these end credit scenes? Because I really want to get your guys' take on these.
So first, I want to hear your guys' rating on the movie before we go to the end past the movie. And we're here, it's a beer scale, 6 beers. How many beers? I will rock it first. I'm going to give it the classic 1 beer out of 6. Sorry, boys. Ronnie, you're up next.
Oh God. All right. Well, I went into this just excited as all get up, and I left slightly disappointed. So it's like when you order a Venti Starbucks and then you get a Venti cup with a grande portion in it. And so with that, I would have to give it I would have to say a 3 out of 6 beers. Just because we really missed the mark on a lot of things, especially with what we're talking about next with the end credit scenes.
Y'all, this is a 6-pack movie. You need a 6-pack to get through the movie and make it better. I gave it a 2, but I think that's a very mean 2 of like, yeah, if I was a movie critic, yeah, that's the score. But me as a movie watcher, I'm like, nah, this is like awesome. This is exactly what I wanted it to be. So I guess go in knowing your expectations for the movie.
Yeah.
And just have fun with whatever the movie's throwing out at you.
So we're getting some awesome comments here. Taylor, just go see the damn movie. Honestly, it's a good movie. Followed up with, I hate those end credit scenes, so we're on the same page. I give the movie a solid 6 is what that says. It kind of cut off. But she gives it a solid 6 out of 6 beers. Which is cool because Taylor's coming from a different perspective. Like for me, I'm digging in, reading the literature, and I just look for all the things to connect magically, in the movies, and sometimes it just doesn't work out. Aaron Evans checking in with us here. The comics are almost always better than the movies. Derek, this is amazing. My wife watched the end credit scenes and immediately asked me what they meant. I responded, I don't know.
Okay, good. Me too, Derek.
Chop and drop. Morbius is an awesome character. I haven't seen the movie, but I've heard it was not as good as it could have been. Yep. So,
Actually,
Taylor, not knocking your 6 by any means. I mean, if it excites you about the character and like the comics and stuff, that is a win to me. Like that makes me happy for you. I totally went into it expecting all these meta things to happen, and it didn't. So that's the only reason why. And I'm super picky, but.
Derek, my wife said the same thing after, and my response was pretty much the same. She didn't know Morbius was like related to Spider-Man at all, and then when Vulture shows up, it was like, wait, what's going on here? What's happened? Like, what's going on?
Yep.
I still have that. What's going on? Why is this happening?
Yeah, I mean, so tell me, these end credits, they happen. Kind of give me the rundown of the credits.
I'm sneaking Taylor and super quick here. I know next to nothing about the Morbius comics. I definitely had a blank slate to go into the movie with. That's cool, and that's a good place to be. And with that, just going with an open mind and check it out. And if you're curious about the comics, I think you might work at a place that knows a thing or two about those. So you might be in the right hands, Taylor. It's okay.
Heck yeah.
Okay, go for it. We're chopping it up. We're doing the end credit scenes. I'm excited about those.
So give me the rundown. What does it mean? What I mean, so we, what did you guys take away? There's a rip in the sky.
Yep.
There's, Morbius meets. They're definitely not shot in the same day or in the same area or anything. I mean, but Morbius meets the Vulture, and they're going to team up. Is that what you guys got, or what? What's the deal?
Well,
these two after credit scenes had to have been reshoots because Spider-Man hadn't come out yet, and we're not going to get those blue ripples from Doctor Strange yet. But also, like the trailer, I don't know if you guys watched the trailer for this. There's three big things missing from the trailer. One, him saying, "I'm Venom."
Right?
I'm like, what? Oh, okay.
He did that in the movie.
But
it was in a different scene in the trailer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then there's a picture of Spider-Man in the background in the trailer.
Yep.
And then Michael Keaton's Vulture shows up at a different point talking to Michael Morbius, saying, "I know who you are and I've been watching you," or something like that.
Yeah.
Like not in a jail cell. Yeah, it's really, really weird. But
That's
the
weird.
logic of the actual after credit scenes that we get doesn't make any sense, right? Because Doctor Strange's spell is that it brings people who knew that Peter Parker was Spider-Man into that universe, into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Why the hell does Vulture end up in the Morbius Venom verse? It doesn't make any sense. And why is he back in a jail cell?
Yeah.
It's so It's so weird.
Yeah, it's forced.
Even weirder, he shows up in his MCU Vulture suit that he built out of Chitauri tech from the Avengers movie. It's do they exist in this universe too? Sony, what are you doing? This doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's a trap.
What's going on?
I blame Columbia.
Man. No, I completely agree. I didn't even think about the tech of the suit, to be honest with you. But everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, is it Sinister Six?" And I'm like, "Oh man, I don't know how we're gonna swing that. That's gonna be some real C-list characters if you're gonna try to pull that off, because everyone else is tied up in actual movies."
And what would it be? It would be the Sinister Two, and one of them is Morbius, who's good.
Venom's in the universe, so they got three.
Okay. That's one of them.
Is
Venom ever in the Sinister Six? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
My big positive though, guys. I don't know about you. Did you guys really like Andrew Garfield and the whatever that one's called? No Way Home.
Yeah.
Okay, he's the best part, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys would love to see him back as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
No. He's too good of an actor. Every movie he does is good. He's moved on. There's no reason for him to be in a Marvel cinematic. He should be winning Oscars every year. He's one of our generation's best actors. We do not need him in superhero movies. Make him do actual projects from good directors.
Oh my gosh!
So in
Wow,
Martin
Tom-
Scorsese's Morbius 2, Morbius versus Spider-Man, where Andrew Garfield finally comes back and he wins his Oscar for this. I'm hoping Tom eats his words. That's my big hope, is that all of this Sony Picture universe of Columbia Marvel characters is leading up to Andrew coming back in some way, shape, or form. Because, like, I don't know, he's such a standout in that movie and has so much fun playing the character. And they were clearly building up to Sinister Six and his Amazing Spider-Man 2. Just say Morbius and Venom are in his universe, and they were happening while he was not being Spider-Man or was hanging out in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Your logic already doesn't make any sense. Like, just bring him back anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is Andrew Garfield unfortunately has the worst Spider-Man movies of all time. His movies are the worst ones, so it's like just let's forget about those 100%. Until he crushed in this new Spider-Man.
Yeah,
he was by far the best part. But it's also because he's a way better actor now. He's not like trying to be Peter Parker, who has a cool haircut and has a skateboard. Peter Parker can't skateboard. Not for me.
Oh goodness! Comments are getting spicy.
No, you hated those movies. Remember, we saw them, I think, with Night Shield that first night. They lined up all the cranes at the end of that movie so he could swing from crane to crane as they made everybody else leave the city except for the crane operators. It's literally made 100% as much sense as Morbius.
Right. I'm not arguing with you. I'm saying the comments are getting spicy and it's hilarious to me. But I will say that Andrew Garfield's biggest blunder was the horrible lizard CGI. Oh man, that was a rough movie for me. It was so bad.
Yeah,
it's so bad. But yeah, the crane scene was pretty dumb. And the scene where he punches a police officer or whatever that was, I was like, okay. But again, we have different realities, right? So, and Toby got his emo dance fix in, right? It wasn't all great. And
hey, I will defend Toby's emo dance till the end of time.
Oh my lord, this is amazing. And that Venom, I don't know about that.
It's
Tom Hardy's a little bit.
It's still the best on-screen Venom.
Oh man,
hot take.
Really?
Oh, I don't like Tom Hardy's Venom.
Really? Okay, all right. That's a whole this roundup we're doing in May is gonna be interesting. Okay. No. Oh no, Taylor! You guys are gonna make me cry. I absolutely love those two movies. No, I'll fight you all on this. She will.
And of course,
is this Amazing Spider-Man, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Those movies rule.
See, Casey's got your back.
But
I got your back.
I have strong opinions, and they're definitely wrong all the time, Taylor. So don't worry.
Oh, that's funny. Chop a Chop. Gabriel Nightshield. I have a couple of his CDs. Yes, that's awesome.
His new album's fire. Everybody needs to be listening to it. I was listening to today that song Native Nations. It's my favorite new weed song. I love it.
And also you guys need to watch the How We Live In music video, because Tom's in the thumbnail of that, and then we're both in the cookout scene.
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun, and you can see me drinking beer with shades on. It's pretty awesome.
John, always looking fresh.
Right now I have water, but normally I would I actually have some Drecker in the fridge. I probably should have had a beer tonight. Derek's really hitting it home. Some of this crap is why I hate the multiverse. No more rules. Anything goes. It's fair. It's a total cop-out. Again, I think the studios need to get together and make up and figure it out. Quality product sells. And when you have movies like this, it's just not up there with Doctor Strange multiverse of madness.
Yep. But yeah, I'm stoked for Doctor Strange. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, I have said, I'm Marvel fatigued. I didn't watch any of the TV shows. I don't really care. I'm not rewatching shit. Didn't really think Black Widow or Shang-Chi was that great. But I love Spider-Man.
And I'm taking notes here, Tom.
And I cannot wait for this Doctor Strange movie. It's got me psyched for sure.
Yeah, it'll be fun. Taylor has thrown down the gauntlet here. I'm going to need to get on one of these lives to speak some sense about Amazing Spider-Man to the viewers. Tom's got me heated.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Come on, Taylor. We'd love to have you.
Taylor, are you free right now? We will add you right now if you are free. I will send you a link. You just need to have a camera and a mic. We will add you. And then she follows up with Doctor Strange is going to be so good, but I do not trust the trailers. Well, and that's an interesting mechanic, too. Now, Casey, here's a question for you. Are there lots of movies that do bullshit trailers that intentionally throw you off to fit the theme of the movie? Okay.
Marvel tends to do that. Throw in stuff that's not in the movie in the trailers. Like the one I think of is in not Endgame, Infinity War, where they show the Hulk running with the rest of the Avengers, where it's actually Bruce Banner in the Hulkbuster suit. Like I know that certain CGI things they edit out. Spider-Man, they did that too to edit Toby and Andrew out of the movie. So I don't know. I've been hearing people talk smack about the Multiverse of Madness trailer. I don't know. I'm excited. I am very excited for that movie.
Yeah, me too.
One, Sam Raimi is my favorite director ever, so that helps. But it has like major Raimi vibes inside the Marvel universe, which I think is really, really freaking cool.
Exactly. That's
right on. Taylor's actually going to the grocery store soon, so she cannot throw down tonight. After the No Way Home trailers, I trust nothing. So that's fair. Yeah, they were editing out the other Spider-Man and just kind of splicing things. I think it's a fun mechanic. I think that's hilarious. Yeah, that's cool. So we rated the movies. The after credit scene was kind of a tanker. If anyone watching this has not seen the movie yet, feel free to YouTube those and save yourself the heartache and just go home at the end of it. And you can skip the horrible line crap that they do with M and Morbius. It's so stupid. But there are some positive notes to it. Visually, some of the special effects are actually really cool. And it's just fun to see slashes and blood and people dying, because you just don't get maybe as much of that, like that level of fear in any of the other movies. And so it really was a cool note. I think there's a lot of potential for it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Cool, man. Those are good closing thoughts, man. Yeah. I think I've said everything I need to say about the good old time of watching Morbius.
All right. Well, with that, closing thoughts are you guys honestly need to tune in to Backlot 605, and it's May 14th?
May 14th.
May 14th, and Backlot 605 is the social media channel to follow. We will certainly share it as best we can without disrupting the programming to help get the word out. If you are in the Sioux Falls area, it is going to be at Average Joe's Gaming, the store just off of Exit 71. Come on out and be a part of the audience. It's so fun. Tom and I had a chance to do it for the holiday ones, and it was a blast. And yeah, we're just excited to throw down with some of 605's finest. And Wednesday Comics, hopefully they're just prepared to get slaughtered. So
yeah. I've been hearing Marvin's just been watching the 2 Ghost Rider movies over and over, and Marvin, those aren't the right movies. I wish they were, buddy, but they're not.
They're not even in the list, Marvin, you idiot. Now
I wish they were.
Hear it and listen to what he tells you.
But we
don't listen to Alex. He's an idiot.
Don't listen to Alex.
We heart you guys, Wednesday Comics, but we also heart Victory. So, yeah.
Hey, Wednesday Comics.
Oh man, Derek, I see you in the comments, and Taylor too. Thank you guys so much, and everyone for chipping in on the comments. Tonight has been a lot of fun. Casey, thank you for your time. This was truly a production of last minute planningness. We really just wanted to unveil our 3rd team member and have some fun with that and talk Morbius. So with that, for movie needs, do check out Backlot 605, you guys. They are fantastic, and be sure to follow them individually as well, because sometimes they're doing like individual projects too. And it's just an exciting time in our community right now, and Tom and I are just so stoked and pleased for you guys and for everyone else that's a part of this upcoming event. And yeah, it's cool. Any closing thoughts from you two?
Nothing from me, John. Thanks again, Casey, for coming on. Always great catching up, brother. And
Casey,
can't wait to see you in a month.
What's that?
It's
all just my name, Casey Kelderman. You can find me.
Casey Kelderman? Okay.
So I'm not doing much right now, but that's okay. I'm prepping for Marvel Cinematic Universe Tag Team Turmoil. I love you, boys, but you're going down.
Oof. Oof.
You are.
Yes.
I don't know what that means in this.
We
I don't know
are
what any of
going
these.
down.
Didn't you
The
write the
rules of
rules
this-
though?
I wrote the rules. I still don't know if they make any sense. I'm like the writers of Morbius. I don't know if this makes any sense or if it connects to anything. It's
it's a
just going to
Columbia.
happen.
Columbia
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
And it's been so long since I read the rules. I don't even remember exactly what we're doing or anything.
Did you send them out?
I think I did.
Yes, in
Yeah.
our text thread at the beginning,
Oh no.
you know, Casey kind of broke down what the plan was, what, you know, everything that was happening. But that Casey planned so far ahead. That was months ago.
I'll send it back out. Just
Yeah.
know that you don't have to watch Ghost Rider or Ghost Rider Spirit of Vengeance. That's all you need to know right now.
Okay.
Those two are out. Okay.
They're out. They're in my hearts, but they're out of this game.
What about like X-Men and stuff? And
John, don't even get started. Come on.
I'm just asking. I don't want to have to watch
read the
them.
notes.
We can't even include Morbius or Venom or the
It's cinematic
Spider-Man
universe. Cinematic
strictly-
universe.
Strictly MCU. Okay.
Strictly straight MCU, no TV shows, nothing of the multiverse, just straight MCU.
What about
That's
Doctor
it.
Strange?
Of course, Doctor Strange is MCU.
No, but that's
Even
also
the-
multiverse.
The new Multiverse of Madness will be included. I don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
who the hell is in that movie, but
Is
they're
it gonna,
not.
Yeah.
Whoever is in that, it will not be included.
What day does that come out, John?
So we're doing the opening showing on May 5th.
May 5th. Yeah.
Mhm.
That's gonna be you got to get that one seen, Tom.
Yeah.
Gotta be
I know.
armed and
Like I'm not able to go with the, you know, I would always go with John and the boys, and we'd go to every, you know, movie at midnight when they used to come out at Thursday at midnight, and after that and so forth. But now I got a whole family who is all obsessed with Marvel movies, way more than I am, way more. And my family watches Marvel movies, I feel like, every single day. They're constantly on around me. I'm strangely enough the least biggest fan of Marvel movies in my house, and so like I have to go with my entire family. So you know we got to figure out a way to get kids and a third grader to go and all those kind of things. So you know I miss going with you though, homie, and I'm gonna miss seeing it with all my Rainbow crew.
Yeah. You're with us in spirit though, so that's all good. Well, cool. Well, thank you again, gentlemen, for your time tonight, and we're looking forward to circling wagons with you, Casey. And please send a big high five and maybe a apology card to your team for at least or at most silver medal as we take gold.
Please
your
just let
shows.
Sam Lenz free. That's all I'm asking right now. Let him free.
I hope he sees that. I was laughing so hard. I printed that out, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm laughing way harder at this than it probably is. This is so great.
It was perfect, John.
That was great.
All right. Well, cool. Well, with that, you guys, the Comic Book Look, we are proudly sponsored by Rainbow Comics. If you're in Sioux Falls area, 42nd in Minnesota, say howdy. If you're in Lincoln, Nebraska, go say hi to Taylor. She's down there with Tim, ready to help you with those comic book needs. I am John on Demand, @John on Demand on the Twitters and Instagram. Tom is @Tom Stu Divine on the Twitters and Instagram. Collectively, we are a Comic Book Look. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to join our Facebook page, A Comic Book Look. We'd love to continue the conversation with you. And we will see you guys next time. I don't know if we're getting together next week or not. I will figure that out with Tom. And we will save the world. And I always close the show with this, and I almost forgot to do it. You guys know the drill as always. Keep it comics for sure, man.